shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, 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 welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to just Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 win Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Welcome to Winternomics.eth. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics. Winter, winter, winter. Welcome. Winter, 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 Winternomics.
What up, what up? What it do? Fucking 8:40. Little late on the grind here. But hope everybody's doing good for the Monday morning. Had a good weekend. You guys finished off a crazy ass trading week last week, profitable. Definitely been some crazy shit in the markets that we are still stuck in a megaphone pattern and basically 2 weeks running. So definitely want to take a look at some of the work you guys have done in the last 2 weeks inside that thing. Because I think until I presented it, as what it was, you might not have realized what you were trading inside of. And that's one of the things about when you get sucked into like your dailies, you can forget about what like the overall governing, macro structure you're trading in is. So it's definitely something that like I think adds a context of what we've actually been doing. You could kind of lose sight of what the market's really been doing, which is a whole lot of fucking nothing, for 2 fucking weeks. So it's pretty fucking crazy. I wasn't really done with this. Hang on. Yeah. So what a fucking week, huh? Hey, Cass, can you explain what the PPT intervention and if there will be time? Can we look LE1? PPT intervention is the plunge protection team. Is the Federal Reserve and a bunch of is a bunch of like high-powered banks and the Federal Reserve. They inject massive capital into the system when it's basically broken. So in like major crises when the market's like lost all its liquidity, they basically saved the day. The last time you saw that shit was they came in on they were in there in COVID, but you saw them in like December 26, 2018 when the markets were breaking out real hard into back at 18. They fucking bottomed it right there on 26, and that's the entire pump wave you see in the first quarter of 2019 is them. They showed up in the bottom of Obama, when the market was coming down in 2009. And they also showed up in Black Monday and saved the market there when you had a liquidity crisis and corporate bonds liquidate the market, and they bottomed it there. So basically, you always want to pay attention to PPT. Where they show up, major moves occur. I actually have a PPT map. If I can find it quickly, let me see if I can do that. I have a comic I made for that once. Let's see, PPT. Where did I put you? I made that in like 2019, I believe. I can be fast. One sec. I'll find you this. I illustrated exactly what happens when you see PPT show up. Why you always want to pay attention to these guys. That's a good question you asked. Motherfucker, where did I put you? 2019 May. I think I've almost found it. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. So this is the plunge protection team, what he just asked about. These guys. So when you see them show up, you pay attention, right? Reagan created it, but effectively that's what showed up here to basically push us out of what happened in Black Monday. It's the Federal Reserve intervention. Just call it the United States version of intervention. You see the Bank of Japan intervene and all that. This is our version of it. But we know how to do it right. So you see them show up in fucking crazy places, and your major bottoms form. So this was a graph we posted at Nomics January 5th, 2019, and they showed up again, all right? Like we said here, when the market was coming down, it's December 27th. Like we said, when PPT shows up, they're trying to bottom the market. That's what you see, historically for them. 900-point intraday reversal, ain't no institutions that will do that shit, right? That's the central bank itself. They just basically sweep the fucking market. And then they dump the VIX off the floor. We had a good key level. You always pay attention to 37. That's a good, so it gives you an idea. 37 is like Dangerville for the VIX. If you see us break up into that zone that we had there, right, that's basically going to 9/11 territory. So that's a level that also you see PPT show up and fucking smack the market. So it gives you an idea of how bad things are once you're like, into the 30s of the VIX. So that was this call here. Like, this is seriously the last time I saw this, almost ended. I saw this, end of the world. Keep your eyes on markets VIX, where this is extremely current, massive underpriced. If it were to move where it made sense, Armageddon would be on the table. PPT looks like they're expecting a country to get stopped out. So like, you have to fucking stand in here, because if PPT doesn't show up at the point they don't show up, nations get liquidated. So PPT pops up in the absolute, crisis level event where there's no other option, and your buyer of last resort, your central bank, has to basically buy everything. So you do want to know whenever you see this show up in the media, you pay attention to it. They're don't show up that often. Kaz, when longing you want. Brandon says, Kaz, when you want best of breed, when longing you want best of breed, but when shorting, do you want worst of breed? Brandon, I'm gonna let you answer that question yourself. What do you think? If you want something going upwards to be as strong as fucking possible, what do you think you want when something's going downwards, bro? There's some stuff you don't gotta ask, right? So I want you to write the answer to that question for me in the chat, Brandon. I didn't even check what the fucking opening numbers of the show was. I was a little fucking out of it. I didn't see if we're above or below 100. Anybody see that? Were we above or below 100 for the opening of the show? No worries, Kivo. Man, I feel sick as shit. What the fuck? What do you guys think of the art for the show today? Ghost in the Machine. Y'all like that, right? We talk about this in Trading Room a lot. In the 80s, I think. Okay, a little low. Weak as possible, so I choose to short LTC over ETH. If that's what you deem was the weakest asset on the time frame that you're looking at, remember, your relative strengths are going to be different on different resolutions of time. So that also is specific to the resolution of time you're looking at. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's fucking going down, you want to go down fucking off a cliff, right? So yeah, duh. Yeah, make sure to smash the like buttons, people. So how'd you like that write-up on Twitter, right? We've all been stopped out on the low. Every single fucking person on this fucking show right now has been stopped out on the low. And you don't want to say it because it sounds crazy, right? There's no way that was fucking intended for my account. But if everybody in this fucking chat can say the same thing, you've all been stopped out on the low, and that seems to be the anomalous thing, right? To be stopped out to the dead penny. What's up? If you get stopped out to the dead penny, the chance that you could pick the low to the penny is highly unlikely. But the chances you all own the most anomalous, thing possible, having the exact fucking low, is also kind of ridiculous. That there's a bunch of you here with that anomaly, right? It points you at some other reality. What's up, abracadabra? So all right, we got 130 here. Decent. 22 minutes in, so obviously I got a quick show I'm gonna have to do because of time constraints. I did want to put up some things that we're doing. So I told you guys we're gonna train a smarter audience and change the game for retail. None of you could guess what the hell I meant by that before we did this, huh? So think about it. Everybody likes to say that nobody can predict the markets. I think on the show we've demonstrated pretty reasonably that that's a fraud. But I think if you've been in Trading Lounge, you probably can't believe it can get that much crazier than what you see on the show. So this is our room war stories that we put out from all of our these are scorecards because I don't there's guys that have issues that they go through, and we have those inside the main channel. These are the guys who are the successes in the live stories. So don't be fooled that no one actually gets chopped in this. Some people do miss in these, but these are all new traders learning to basically manage themselves in a stupid resolution of time as we read prices live and we trade basically live futures and stocks that are going on around it. I wanted to keep track of these because you can really lose yourself in each day, looking at it and say, it's been a good trading day this day. It's been a good trading day this day. But when you really look at what the fuck the market's been doing, which is this, guys, these are phenomenal trading days. The market has done fuck all nothing. The market has been doing this since we started doing live calls and we opened up YouTube to a live trading channel. And you guys have been trading in basically what annihilates fucking retail as it expands around and just destroys people who try to figure out which side of the market this thing's gonna go ahead and go in. It has been doing none of that. You guys have been sitting here in a 30 VIX environment, trading intraday in the lowest liquidity since the banking crisis, and in whatever direction, just wins. 15 Rs, 6 Rs, 23 Rs, done by 11 o'clock, fucking hour and a half of work, right? All, we got mothers and sons in here trading on teams and things like that. Incredible fucking stuff going on in this place. And like I said, this is really the best shot for retail, I think, that could be created by an analyst that actually could understand the market stuff and translate it to retail. I don't think, if you guys see what you've learned inside Trading Lounge, The stock market's not meant for fucking regular people. It's meant to fucking destroy regular people. You see what you've learned to be able to do this? Think about your parents telling you that they saw stocks were up or down today after watching Jim Cramer. Do you realize how many millions of miles away from what they need to know the average person is to touch that fucking thing with the fucking, the rigging they've set up to catch retail and make sure retail cannot beat the inside market? It's absolutely fucking insane, I think it's kind of crazy, but people have no idea, right? It isn't just stopping you on the low. It is 100% going after your ass, because when they say they go to the market for capital formation, like, what do you think they form the capital from? Right? It's us. It's not some aliens we go get money from. They intend to go and fucking crush you retail. I always find it interesting when I watch TV and you see them say, hey, stocks are fucking bouncing today. Investors are snapping up cheap deals. Stocks are selling off today. Investors are taking profits. That last blanket statement is really nice, right? Because your mom and pop at home is like, they're talking about me. It's like, bitch, unless you're right every time they say that, they're not talking about you, right? You're generally on the wrong end of that shit. But no one ever thinks that, because they don't want to believe that they're not the investor. But you listen to them all the time, right? Market's up 1,000 points today after being off a fucking bridge. Everybody in retail is fucking annihilated. Then the stock market's fucking skyrocketing, and they're like, oh, investors snapped up cheap deals. And you're sitting at home just being like, man, I should be one of those investors. Just missed it, right? That's not it, right? They're not talking about you. And that's the thing that people have to realize, right? People are so egocentric, they think they really mean you. But this thing's not built for you, right? They're talking about the people it's built for. So, Ami1 said, my first profitable trade was in a 32 VIX environment. I like that. Good shit. So, again, what the media is doing, what Jim Cramer is doing, and if you watch what we watched inside the room on the Daily Show, Jim Cramer fully admitting regulators aren't smart enough to catch him in what he's doing, and he's making a market out of retail mom and pop to the institutions that are on the other side of that, and that's your total system. That's your total market system. The fastest wildebeest. You got to be the smart wildebeest, so the lion's gonna get you. That's what I figure. So I try to teach you guys to be nimble fucking wildebeest. You learn price logic at this resolution. No one will ever be able to tell one of you again how markets move. So in the chat, write that. Can anybody ever tell one of you guys in the scorecard how markets work ever fucking again after what you've seen on live call? To me, this ends the question of, is it readable? Does it actually come after you? How does it really work? Is retail really supposed to be here? You know damn well this thing is meant to fucking kill retail. So, something I've been planning to create for a while. I didn't know if I could run it at this scale. Pretty incredible that we can get this many people to be there and navigate currencies, navigate crypto, navigate stocks. And if you did really, if you paid attention to, you guys were able to navigate this killer play we put on the show. You guys saw this one? This one we dropped inside the OnlyFans channel for you also, if you guys are inside the Discord. And we put on the show. This guy pumped 50 fucking % since he was on the show. Told you, great range. The January pump range was where I bought my first one. Great fucking range to play it if it was going to hold. This is where you want to pay attention on your bull flag. And then Project Animus, whatever the fuck this is, right? Good technicals will put you in the same place as good fundamentals. That's your proof of concept, right? The structure of a bull flag contains all of the things that you in hindsight will believe were fucking like, I needed to know the inside intel. But the reality is, when you go back in hindsight and you can use technical analysis back on something 5 years ago, you don't know the information flow, but the technical structure makes sense. So the reality is that the fundamentals must be part of the technical structure, so good technicals should point you at fundamental events, right? So who gives a fuck? I don't know those guys. I give a fuck. I'll animate my dick, nigga, but it's whatever, get money. So hopefully y'all made a play on that. I saw some of you said you played the rotation break line we talked about, so good stuff on that. Anyways, so that's a mouthful. Ghost in the machine, bitches. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Alright, so now what's going on? Oh, I gotta do war stories. I forgot about that. I got you. What do you guys got for us? Better have some war stories. Okay, we got a few. We got full low. Imers. I didn't read this yet, right? Been a good week practicing 3, refining my trade plans, taking paper trades, seeing how the market show. I think I read this guy already, didn't I? I'll just read it again. After seeing the market with a new perspective from participating in the trading lounge, massive thanks to Kaz. Been slacking on war story front. Sorry for that. We should all put a little bit more into. Yeah, you did this already. Did that last week. My bad. Okay, so first war story. This is Lee Money. Lee Money. Hey, you disappeared a long time ago. Let's see what you got. All right. Today, I was able to be smart, not greedy. I was able to recover losses from early in the week. I'm a relatively inexperienced trader, and I was down a lot on the week due to making a bad decision, repeating past mistakes, and forcing trades unnecessarily. Here were some of my biggest mistakes. Poor entries, mostly due to foaming trades, being impatient, chasing the dump or the pump instead of waiting for the flag to form and get a better entry. This happened the most when I am overtired or overwhelmed, and usually I know it's a bad entry, but I do it anyway. Spending too much time in red trades after making a bad entry or a good entry that doesn't go as planned. I waste too much energy being stubborn, waiting to be right and the trade to go green. Sometimes it works out, but often it's still not worth it because I'm probably missed out on other opportunities. Better to wait for the entry you're more confident than foaming an entry and end up stressed out. So as far as like waiting in the red, I've said this to people before, so it's a really good saying, like if you're right in markets, right, because the moment of opportunity is such a scarce moment. Like think about it like this, right? Bitcoin didn't sit at like 3,500 forever when COVID happened, right? It went down there, destroyed people really fucking fast, and it was down there before you could really fucking think is the end of the world happening, and it was gone. A good opportunity, even though it's going to be in front of a lot of people, won't last a long time. So when you're right, and you're really right, your timing matters, and you'll be right really quickly. If you survive a long period of time and become right, you're technically kind of lucky. So, when you're right in markets, you should be right quickly. And there's a certain amount of time you kind of can you can time stop yourself out. That's not, totally outside the box. You can risk an R. But in the reality is if you're sitting at break even in a fucking, 1 minute flag and you somehow sat there for like fucking an hour and a half and you're not dead yet, but it hasn't gone anywhere, you weren't right. And so it might be well worth it to back out, possibly save the R and just reset. That's not the worst thing you could ever fucking do. So that's obviously going to be relative to the time scale that you take the trade in. But yeah, I do that too. Sometimes I'm like, okay, almost went, back again. Fuck, you know what? Fuck this. Just start over. And that's not the worst thing in the world. So that's actually a good point that she made right there. Next part, not taking profit. I've been up 1 or 2 R's, but then add a stop to a lock-in profit to end up losing twice as much as I would have gained, especially in the high VIX environment. Today, the market showed a clear direction, and I've never felt more confident about trade as I did today when the VIX was clearly breaking out of a bull flag that Kaz has been talking about on the stream for a couple weeks now. The DXY was also in a bull flag, so I had ultimate confirmation that the market was about to tank. I took QQQ puts 3 times and Tesla once. I got the Tesla trade because at the time the QQQ was breaking down and the VIX was breaking out. Once I hit 3.5 hours in Tesla, I was already past my target and didn't want to give back profits, so I set a trailing stop of minus 5%, which I now realized if I had tried minus 10 or 15 or used a stop limit instead, I could have more than doubled my profits as Tesla continued to tank. There was no real reason to get out of the trade, and the VIX was breaking out of yet another bull flag and at the time of my exit. I still had one of my best trading days yet, with 2.1 Rs, 3 Rs, and 1.5 Rs in Qs, and 3.5 Rs in Tesla. Tesla's levels and using the holy trinity. You guys really calling it this? That's so funny. Has been a game changer. Thanks, Kaz, Vicky, and everyone in the eco who has shared your experiences. The newbie guide and the war stories are so helpful, and it's about time I shared one of my own. Well, awesome. Glad to see it. Really simple. Nice little rotation on this flag down. That's very cool, right? You could even leave something in there that could survive and run on with it for a while and book the bulk of your gains, to take out, maybe like 20% of what you had on the table. To try and, stay with the trend if you think it has a potential to keep going and you've exceeded your targets and, you have some excess alpha to pay for such a thing. But yeah, these are great plays, and it's a good thing to have in mind what you plan to make so you don't sit there, because you can always talk about what you could have done. But market conditions aren't always going to do this. So a lot of times, you want to look at what your average wins are and plan around that. If you normally struggle to make it past 3 and 4 Rs, then recognize when you see a 5 or 6 that might be anomalous in your world, and head for the door. So I think this is good reflections and good for everybody else to kind of reflect on. All right, so events. Let's see, real quick. So today's Columbus Day. It's a banking holiday, I think, in the U.S. Yeah, it's not on here, but today's a banking holiday, so I think bond market's closed. That can or cannot make the day kind of more janky when that's not open. It's kind of hit or miss what it does. So I don't know. I think right now the market's in a crazy place. I think we're going to get pretty volatile movements as the VIX gapped up this morning. It's like 32, 33. We're a stone throw away from being like at PPT type levels, right? So I think you keep all eyes on deck right now. Moving through, next one. She's back. Who's this? Who's she? Kiki, what up, girl? All right, what do you got? With a bang. After summer drift, I've gotten on track, and I have had my best trading week, not just in terms of results, but also being mechanical, journaling. Now it's imperative to keep this momentum going and stay consistent over time. I was looking at the VIX the past year, comparing it to my participation. I'm a bit of a masochist and most active in times of high VIX. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Okay. One thing I have noticed is that I tend to let my trades influence the next one. After a win, I'll want to chase it, euphoria, or after a loss, make up for it. These trades are typically where I stop out, emotional and bad timing and bad planning. On the other hand, I also tend to hesitate the entry, still trying to find the balance between being quick to the draw and being patient. What it means, though, is that I often miss my entries and end up fumbling for a new one, which tends to be sloppy. So I've been using a demo account and trying out pending orders. All in all, I'm getting more confident, though, and able to trust myself, both and off the charts. This is worth more than gold. As has been stressed many times, the benefits of the eco go far beyond making money. So let's see. It says chop going to wait for US Open. Watch your emotions. It's pretty low to where this is. I see what you sold for. That would have gotten kicked out, and then you have to resell it. So this is pretty good. You got booted and resold it. That's about as good as you could do there. Wow, what the fuck? That's a decent flag. That stops way back. I can see that you probably used to getting slipped a little bit. That looks pretty good. I think that's pretty good, and good reflections you have on here. And something we can definitely take a look at in Trading Lounge. So that's pretty good. I like to see two of our lady traders step out and throw some war stories up for everybody. So good to see. This is a terrible market environment to learn in. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for many of you that are brand new to the market, this is like your worst fucking nightmare ever happening with the market being in this condition. It's like learning in the banking crisis. But it's kind of like I say about, like driving a car in New York. If you could drive a car in New York, you could drive fucking anywhere, right? If you could trade in this fucking environment, like, you're a fucking beast. So, hats off to everybody who's brand new surviving this crazy shit. I'm sorry I haven't been able to read a lot of this. Earned and Test Gamer, do we have to join the channel to get access to the private live streams, or as also OnlyFans? So all the streams are still just like they are. You can just subscribe to the station just like you used to. If you join it as a member, you can go to Acolytes. That's Discord, and YouTube controls that. I can't stick you in there. Once you do that, you end up in Discord, and there we do like training and stuff, and we just go live. It's not like the live stream. We just go live on the voice call and fucking trade the market together. And then we have time to go over concepts and stuff like that. Just kind of like very casual. It's not structured like a class or anything. It's just a live trading environment. You got Euro traders trading overnight while I'm sleeping, so I'm not the only thing in the house. You got a lot of old veterans in here who are trading, while dudes are where dudes are sleeping. So like right here, see another 2 hours in the UK. I'm fucking passed the fuck out. Right, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. These guys are the European traders. Well, I wasn't passed out. I woke up and saw them, so I was like, this is pretty cool. So I came and say hi and stuff. And these guys are trading Eurozone. So you motherfuckers, happy you live in Europe, like fucking trade it. Like I showed you, shit's fucking popping off over there. So definitely jump on that. There's opportunities overseas while markets move overnight. All our gaps in the U.S. are coming for overseas movement, so definitely pay attention to that. And I could tell you that I could tell that our show is getting a lot of traction around the place lately, because I showed this to you guys, see if I can find it fast enough. It's a really interesting thing that's been going on here, but you guys saw we did the show on Fallout where we covered world indexes, and within 6 hours, I guess TradingView thought it was important for you guys to know about baskets of world indexes. This has been an ongoing thing, so hi TradingView, if you're watching my show, make sure you give some credit to where you keep taking the ideas from, okay? It's been pretty cute. Trading is also an art now, not art of markets or anything, but it's cute. And after we did on 28th here, they did the basket of the currencies. Right after we did the basket of the currencies, it's cute. So I see a lot of you guys love my ideas. Just make sure you give some fucking credit to where it's coming from. Appreciate you. Funny shit. Housing market is correcting. All risk assets are correcting, right? It's with this kind of sustained VIX, I think you're having a liquidity crisis. Yeah, a liquidity crisis. I mean, a lot of assets are pulling back. Will they correct as deep as people are hoping, like the banking crisis? If they do, you probably don't want to see that and what things look like at that point. But yeah, we're in a correction broadly, in every fucking risk asset on the planet. There is no safe place, right? Cash is king at this moment. While you're in a DXY bull market, the US dollar is the king of kings. So let's take a look at macro. It's 9:06, so this is obviously going to run to 9:20, but I'm going to fucking go through this and some things I think are worth paying attention to right now as I went over things this morning. So starting off with our gap chart, this is what we got. And you guys don't want to review things further that we talk about, stuff you're having problems with in war stories, join Acolytes on YouTube and jump into Discord. Change your game, motherfuckers. I think you guys already know at this point. So this is our gap chart. We've been focusing on the gaps. Again, this was the purple level, which is the bottom of the summer low. And we 2B'd that. We talked about this before. He could pop up and possibly do a flag. So he popped up really hard out of that shit and he came down really hard onto it. But he did bounce, and he's pre-market bouncing on this gap low again. Well, it's not a gap low, I'm sorry. The actual low of summer. That's the gap, right? So this is the range you're in. If you measure the bounce, pay attention from here to there. If he's going to have a squeeze day and we do dick rules on the gap open, right, he has the range of movement to go all the way to this. We're not, the market's in a terrible fucking condition. Yeah, VIX looks like shit. So this is the bull flag we talked about. If you rotate the angle, this happened over here on Friday. If you guys are paying attention, I think it was Lee Money was talking about. And this blue Tesla, off a fucking bridge. If you were paying attention to stuff, everybody got smacked over. So now you watch the VIX like this, and right, when you watch a bull flag like this, right, like here, right, let's get a better color. And you see like your bull flag pump out, right? It's like, okay, bull flag cleanly left. But until he gets, out of here, he's not out of here. So, it's kind of like thinking like this, right? Like he's not out of here. So we're watching this right now. He's come up here, and this is kind of going to dictate our trading day to day. This guy could either turn to a flag like so, or, he can bomb fucking out, and you can get a short squeeze off of something like this. Or he can come and turn up, and then the market goes into another leg, and we get really fucking crushed, right? That's what you're dealing with. Those are your potentials within that gap zone that the SPY is doing right now. So the SPY's gap, if he doesn't sustain and he fails and that rotates, this is continuing, and it's going to blow out the fucking lows probably this summer, and the VIX goes towards 37 range, and that's obviously terrible. But with a gap up right now and that projection we did, if that's going to fucking happen, the market's pretty bearish and it was pretty bearish, and we get like some kind of relief squeeze just to fuck people one more time, and we get this projection right here, that's the situation you're looking for today. The DXY is exceedingly strong. You see a little bit of fade here from pre-market, from overnight Europe, but right now this is the trend, right? And as long as this rotation is still happening, where's the rest of this chart? Okay, yeah, as long as this is still riding up towards the top of here, right, that's putting pressure on everything. The Euro USD is weak on its way down out of this. Where's my other USD chart? All right, we're still watching this. Come on. So there's that same fade, right? The bear channel, rotation for the Euro, and he's still fading. And so all this is still in line with the dollar right now. This continues, markets continue to de-risk. Can you have a little aberration here and a bear flag and the market have a breather? Very possible, but the longer trend is still doing this, right? So that's what we're watching. Obviously, the SPYs. Yes, they can bounce to do a thing. This is the other chart, but yes, they could bounce here and possibly do a thing, and that could be just within the scheme of the DXY taking a small breather as it still continues this trend structure. So overall, things look very bearish, but we're paying attention to how we open for today. BTC and crypto things. Don't think those guys have much moved. They're kind of really stationary, and I think when you get your bigger movement, these guys will kind of all confirm it. So BTC is like really, like we talked about, he's trapped in this little range sideways, and we're waiting to see if he rotates down here, and he's kind of just barely fucking doing shit at all. And then ETH is still kind of also very much trapped in the sideways thing that we told you to stay away from. When he did this whipsaw range, you really just don't want to fuck with him until he's like, here. But we can see that bear flag that's in LTC. LTC, this is not the chart I have it on. What do I have LTC on? One of these damn charts. There he is. So I drawn you an LTC thing and just showing you that he was in a bear flag like that. So this whole bear flag situation, that's going on right here is reflected, in these guys. So this is September 22nd. All right, September 22nd. So this little bear flag at the top possible rotation of this bear flag to leg down the rest of crypto in this fractal is aligned with all of these guys. And so I think if you're going to get a broad risk market like breakdown, the whole thing will correlate, lock up, and start correlating across the board. This likely will give you some timing to like the real final move of like the S&P even. I think these guys will all climax out the bottom together. If you get that kind of movement, they'll likely all be in it at the same time. So that's crypto, DXY, VIX, S&P 500. So with that being said, currencies are pretty strong, and looking at some of the bigger tides. I forgot my fucking book. Well, but look at some things like the USD. We look at USD, JPY all the time and stuff like that. And this guy we talked about a while ago. At the extent of this is still moving. But as a whole, North America as a whole is really what's moving. And I don't think anybody watches it, but you look at things like MXN, JPY. We talked about it before, and this guy is almost broken the fuck out. MXN, NZD, things against like the North America versus the Pacific. Like these are fucking bull markets. Bull markets where people aren't even thinking. How many people feel bullish about the Mexican peso? Like, let's be serious, right? Nobody feels bullish about the Mexican peso. But this motherfucker is a bull market of our times. As much as he's going crazy, you look at this guy, USD, NZD. He's leading the United States. He's a stronger currency in North America, not the dollar. Isn't that nuts? CAD, NZD. CAD's actually leading too. So out of North America's basket, really Mexico and Canada are the leaders. US is the laggard because everyone's staring at USD, right? But it ain't him. It's a broad-based move in North America going on against the fucking Pacific. NZD, JPY, that's the wrong one. Sorry, MXN, JPY, and then CAD, JPY, right? This guy's likely a guy to pay attention to. You might rotate and chase that down, but it's a broad-based fucking North American basket of currencies here. And they're fucking everybody up, right? MXN, fucking GBP. It's a bull market in fucking North America. So there's definitely some opportunities out there to pay attention to, but you might not have actually looked at. Mexico, fucking Australian dollar. Like, holy fucking shit, right? Who knew? So there's definitely a bull market running here in North America. And if this has any indication, right, USD, AUD, these guys likely aren't done. When you look at it like that, the DXY, probably not done doing what he's doing. But anyway, it's a broad look at a few asset classes, some currencies to fucking sprinkle in there. Make sure you keep your eyes open, right? There's always a bull market somewhere, like Jim Cramer says, right? What do you got there? I didn't catch that. Reading up on your old blogs. Yep, you guys checked out the classic blogs. It's Casnomics.blogspot. I don't remember. It's something. It's in the show. Casnomics.blogspot.com, whatever. That's basically a time capsule of the financial crisis. So definitely something worth checking out. Threw me a couple symbols. Oh yeah, somebody asked about this LE1. Let's see, 914. Fuck it, right? 920. I guess we're all used to this shit. What is the LE1 again? That is a live cattle. We actually did fucking live cattle. Who did that? Energy. Energy XRP. That's a dude in Trading Lounge. I don't know why you fuck what, but he said something about fucking cattle back here. And it looks like a bull flag over his level, so fuck it. I'll pay attention to that. I think food isn't going to get any cheaper, right? Putin is trying to choke us with fucking food. I think you pay attention to this thing. He sits above that. It's, worth paying attention to. So that's LE1. Damn it. Let's zoom out on that guy real quick. Yeah, that's a pretty good rotation just on, let's look back here. Yeah. It's about what you want to see. So that looks like a good spot to pay attention to him. Might be fucking something worth paying attention to on a few other agricultural guys too. Energy goes moo. Moo is actually the symbol for the fucking one of the agricultural ETFs. Might be worth keeping track of him if that bull flag is mature yet. So let's see. What's the low of that guy? Okay, I think we'll keep track of that guy. Who knows? Might be the most bizarre kind of coincidence, right? If you believe in that kind of thing. Yeah, I'll watch you. Poink. Alright, what was the next thing you said? Welcome back, Pickle Toes, to the Acolytes. Let's see. Gold, Euro, C, and Nvidia. C. Citigroup, if markets keep coming down, banks are going to get fucking wrecked with it. JP Morgan, all these guys are actually pushing on lows right now. Got a long-term uptrend on JP. That's probably worth paying attention for like financials as coming out of the depths of the financial crisis. So that, definitely if you're going to de-risk harder, that's a retracement target to keep in mind for that. And that would be something to keep in mind for these guys. Like Citigroup really looks like shit when you see where he's coming from 2009. And if you really called it what it was, Citigroup's one of the shittier banks of all of them. And that's pretty much like the biggest bear flag ever, right? In the long-term macro of Citigroup. So that doesn't look good. Nvidia, while we were getting some gas on him here, down to like this res. Pancaked on the floor. Pretty much kind of waiting for this guy to go through the floor if the market de-risks again and VIX gets any more pop to him. That obviously doesn't look too good. So trending down like that, right? We're kind of watching this entire thing cascade down. You're in a range I do like, but unless the market finds some footing to it, I wouldn't fucking be like right in front of the train. If this range manages to hold like right here, that'd be just isolated. This is a tradable range though. If the market has like some kind of blowout move here and it tracks back in here, he can have like a trading zone inside of here. Even if he's going to go do that anyway, this is still a race. It'd be surprising to see Nvidia blow it completely out with no interaction. This is a pretty high volume range for him to go through in a straight shot. But if he did do it, the market would have to be getting obliterated for that to happen, I think. Where the symbols go? Nvidia, Citigroup, cattle, TTD. TTD we did. So this came off the ground when we talked about some Kathy stuff that was on the ground that could have popped. Not shop. PayPal, I think, was one we talked about. Yeah, we talked about PayPal was on the ground, and then we also talked about TTD, and he's connected to Shop and Etsy. Let's see if those guys did anything. So Etsy, all them popped. The only guy who didn't pop was Shop. TTD, like I said, in this risk environment, probably not the best place to be. While this is kind of fading though, and he's well off the ground, unlike some stuff like Nvidia, you probably would want to pay attention to this being a significant bottom. Then, like if Nvidia crapped himself out and this stock actually got back to the lows, this would probably be a fucking like triple bottom, or like a triple bottom that would hold and bounce. I think that would be a very possible type scenario. So I think that's is interesting that he's that far off the lows. And guys like Meta, all these dudes are fucking dire straits like we talked about. Like some of these guys have yet to go. They have ranges they can get down to like key levels like this, and that might be worse. This is like the PPT year. So actually this is PPT. We just talked about that. That's PPT's intervention in 2018. So you're reaching some spots that are like worthy of interactions, right? Nvidia is in a crazy area here. That's pretty much, as far as this like really crazy low, it kind of corresponds with the PPT low of Meta. So there's at least a technical area like where there was high velocity, high volume impact to the market that I think is worth paying attention to right now. You're at a close spot with us down so much that it can be like a reaction bounce. What was the other thing you guys asked me? All right, I'm pretty done here. Damn, how the show got to 127. We got dumped. Well, we're 920. I think I can do any more. So I'm gonna stop right there. Shout out to Joe Maloma. Appreciate you flinging some bits at the show as always, sir. Dow 100 chart. Ask me the next show, and I'll put that out earlier. It's too late for me to get to that. But hopefully you guys learned a lot. Stay safe. Don't get caught by the ghost in the machine. Catch you motherfuckers on the flip. Trading Lounge. Be ready. I'll be there in a minute. Peace.
Welcome to Winternomics TV. Your stream will begin shortly. Loading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get ready, bitches. Winternomics. Welcome